Hi everyone, I have quite a game for you here today from the World Rapid Chess Championship. Magnus Carlsen is white, 16-year-old international master from Uzbekistan. Shamsidan Vokidov is black. e4 by Carlsen, e5, queen to h5, looking for a scholar's mate. Knight c6, bishop c4, threatening mate to 1 on f7, g6. And one does note that black has weakened their dark squares a bit with this move. The queen comes back to f3, queen e7, knight e2, knight f6, d3, bishop g7, knight bc3, h6. This is a useful move because it prevents bishop g5, after which knight d5 would actually become a really powerful threat for white. Carlsen plays knight d5, knight takes d5, e takes d5, and this is a nice idea. After knight a5, d6 by Carlsen. Okay, so first of all, if queen takes d6, then queen takes f7 check by white is obviously just winning because you pick up the bishop on g7. So because of this, black takes with the c pawn. But now a few things have happened. First of all, black's got double pawns, and this means that the d5 square is now a permanent outpost for white. Second of all, this bishop on c8 is now going to have a tough time developing, since it's going to take 2 pawn advances to develop it, which does not seem easy, as playing b6 right now is impossible, due to queen takes rook. Carlsen puts the bishop in d5, knight c6, bishop d2, queen f6. Carlsen doesn't want a queen trade. Castles, knight e7, knight c3, queen f5, and now it's a game of spot the weakness. Where the weakness is in black's position? Well, d6 is weak, b7 is weak, so what do? Attack both of them simultaneously. Queen b4, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, and Carlsen really is dominating here. Let's just compare the minor pieces for a second. Look at this bishop and this bishop. They are both really bad bishops. This bishop is just hitting a wall on e7. The bishop on c8 hasn't even moved yet. On the other hand, white's knight is an absolute demon. As I said before, it will not be kicked by a pawn, and the bishop on d2 is a healthy bishop too. Please note that right now, white is threatening knight e7 check, forking the king and the queen. So black plays king to h7, but Carlsen now puts the knight in c7, attacking the rook. Rook b8, queen takes d6, and this is just great for white. b6, hoping to get this move bishop b7 in to connect the rooks. And here Carlsen actually missed a tactical shot. He played f3, but he could have exploited the fact that this rook on b8 is not defended with the nice move knight to e8 and cover an attack on the rook on b8. So first of all, if you take the rook, white emerges up an exchange here. So if you move the rook away, well, now knight takes g7, king takes g7, and bishop takes h6. A nice tactical shot. After king takes h6, the king has been deflected from the defense of the rook. Queen takes f8, and white has a full exchange up, and also black's king position is horrible. So after b6, Carlsen played f3, but this allows black to connect his rooks with bishop b7, and now black is fine. The rook comes to e1, rook fc8, and bishop to c3 by Carlsen, and this seems to be a mistake, because this knight is only defended once by the queen, and this allows bishop to f8 by black. And white's queen is actually very close to trapped here. The only move which doesn't lose the queen, which Carlsen did not play, is queen takes e5. But after queen takes e5, bishop takes e5, white has to defend the knight. d6. And you can see that the bishop has been cut off from defending the knight and attacked at the same time. So after, say, bishop c3, rook takes c7, black is up a full piece. So after bishop f8, Carlsen played knight b5, but black wins the queen. Bishop takes queen, knight takes queen. Okay, we've got a fork here on the queen and the rook. Queen e6, knight takes rook, rook takes queen, and rook takes knight, sorry. And, well, black is up a queen for a rook, and is winning here. And the rest of the game is black quite nicely converting this winning advantage. He kept a cool head under pressure. Queen takes h2, and now white's position is collapsing. The queen is going to pick up all these pawns eventually on c2, g2. Rook takes a7, queen h1 check, king f2, d4. Carlsen resigned here. The position is just collapsing. First of all, you can't take this pawn on d4 because of queen h4 check, forking the king and the bishop. King e3 is forced, well, not forced, king e3 is the only move that defends the bishop, but now queen e1 check, king f4, g5 is mate. And if you move the bishop away, say to d2, well, queen d1 for example, forking the bishop on the pawn, and black is just going to win this game. So a huge upset here, and it is interesting to note that Carlsen did get an extremely good position until he blundered with f3, or missed the winning move, knight e8. Okay, thank you very much for watching.